Do men consider their wife or girlfriend as a partner or a sex object?
Both.
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 Alhamdulillah. Jadi ayala rabbikum antukati ba.
Your partner, yeah, your sex object.
Yes.
What's that saying? What says you want a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets?
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Take the thing off, got the little thing on. Bismillah. Bismillah. It's always better when it's allowed.
How does a man balance being strong, empathetic, warm, and supportive without compromising their manhood?
Strong and pathetic?
First time you said pathetic, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, how they going together?
Impossible. Is empathy recognizing the feelings of another person, or is it feel like understanding? Like, because that's empathy and
understanding.
Okay.
It's implied.
Understanding,
like,
I think it's impossible.
Yeah.
Cause you might understand how she feel, but if you don't understand how she feel the way she wants you to, then
Which is impossible.
then she gonna feel like you're not being empathetic.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we don't feel, we just understand and feel differently.
Right.
Yeah, because you can understand and not.
Yeah, and I think it has something just to do with the way we process.
You're not emotional like that.
We cannot allow ourselves to be overly emotional.
It's
You
emotional.
said it's not right.
Yeah, we're not that
It's
emotional.
a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
ain't emotional, oh, you don't show no emotion. If you show emotion,
Yeah.
oh, you a bitch.
Yeah.
You more emotional than me. So it's like it's a lose-lose
And you'll hear
situation.
that. But you gotta have balance.
Right.
You gotta have balance.
So you saying just deal with that?
Deal
With that type of mentality?
Deal with what type of
Where a
mentality?
woman is like how I've just described. Like if you try to be like this and then you try to be like that.
Well, women is
Show no emotion.
Nah, but that's almost like two different people. It's not like the non-emotional dude gonna be the emotional one. It's gonna be the emotional one that she keep telling like you being a bitch.
Yeah,
not really the
So
other.
yeah,
no,
and I
I'm
can't
saying
switch
like
it
the
up.
guy, alright, she said like you're not emotional enough, so you try to
You try to be emotional,
then she
but
like,
you can almost, you can kind of, you can tell that you're trying to be emotional when you really being emotional.
Just don't show no emotion. Just be yourself.
Yeah, don't show nothing. I think at the very least you should try. Like you should be like, yo, that's just kind of not how I am. Like I apologize.
But when you try
How
to
you
be
be
emotional,
emotional when you ain't emotional?
That's what I'm saying. When you try to, I'm like, yo, like, now you trying to show emotion now?
Yeah.
So it's like, you might as well just
Bro,
don't show that.
yeah, that's what I know. You just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, she should know you though. She should know you enough to be like, this is the type of guy that I'm with. And just deal with that.
Like, now you care.
Like, they be thinking they gonna change you, man. That's not right.
Yeah, that's just fall off of emotion.
That
She
is
wants
a
you to be
fact.
emotional today, but
That is a
she
fact.
don't want you to.
Then they gonna change you. They're not changing you,
At
man.
all.
Yeah.
Not even a little
Be
bit.
yourself, you be alright.
Fact.
Should a woman stay with a man that keeps going in and out of jail?
See that? You said no?
Nah.
And we keep going in and out of jail.
Nah, cause he ain't there for her.
But you so
You know what
proud
I'm
for the family though.
Still need that presence of being there. You know what I'm saying? You get that from somebody else.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
We should know a lot of people that, children around our areas, you know, some of our peers that deal with problems of that type of fathers, those type of fathers, in and out and in and out. So they don't know how to take the dude. You get it? So it destroys, like you said, it destroys the family structure.
Absolutely.
But this is it also. If he was in and out of jail, then he was already exhibiting behaviors way before he got locked up that she knew about.
Right.
That either she condoned or participated in some way or another. So she shouldn't have been with him in the first place, if that was the case.
I mean, you can look at it like that too, but that don't mean like
Yeah.
she should.
So
just
if
stay
she was
with-
there, then she might as well rock out. If you was a part of it and you knew about it, you knew what
Yeah,
was
that's
going
my
on.
point of view. Like,
You was there. You was in for a penny. You in for a pound.
If he was going to pack for him, you know what I mean, he come
Exactly.
you. Might as well
I
stay
mean,
with him.
Because you can't act like you didn't know.
you got a bunch of different scenarios where you can look at it like that, but just to say like somebody's in and out of jail, which could be for anything, nah, why would you do that?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be
You know what I'm saying? Like-
stupidity on her behalf.
Yeah, like
Of just keep getting involved with this guy, same guy that when he get out and just doing the same process with it.
just doing the same thing over and over again. That's
expecting different results.
That's what Einstein said.
Why does the male population think women cheat for love and not sex like them?
Because they don't.
That's kind of how you're wired.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how your brain's put together.
Yes.
Work off emotions.
Women be wanting.
Like
These questions.
They cheat way
Women be
before
answering all
any
these questions
physical
about
actions
women.
come out. Women cheat differently than men. If their means of flirtation is that's already, once they made that line, they're already there.
you kind of
Men,
So
Like, you don't think they cheat for the same reason?
Yeah.
Some
I think
men.
they cheat for the same reason. Just because
Some men.
they want a new.
so if a woman,
I think.
well,
They
women
want
cheat,
to do
they
Oscar
don't cheat the
Mayer
same way.
if a woman cheats, is she a hoe?
I tell you one thing. I know some women, bruh. I'm trying to tell you.
If a woman
They ain't got no
cheats, is she a
reason.
hoe?
That's by definition, isn't it?
No, she's a being
Nah.
friendly.
So if a man cheats,
If she
is she a hoe?
cheats,
Nah, man.
Nah, don't make them lie.
men
It don't make the man though.
My wife
Either
raised
one.
it.
Why do men want their wife or girlfriend to dress modestly, but cheat with men and women who dress provocatively?
Repeat the question.
Why do men want their wife or girlfriend to dress modestly, but cheat with and befriend women who dress provocatively?
that might not be the reason why he's cheating, the way she's dressed.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It might not. It might be because you got some sisters that's garbed up. And you know how the Prophet Sallallahu, you know, his character was like honey, he was sweet. And then you got some brothers and sisters and garbed, but it's like vinegar. Like, so you got some sisters that's running around here scantily dressed and as sweet as pie.
That's because you can.
So it could
No,
be
he
applied to that, huh?
otherwise.
Not, huh?
No, he said that's because I don't know what he said.
Men is real visual. That's something we all will agree on.
Well, I'm saying it's not limited to just that.
He's talking about characteristic wise.
I
Yeah,
don't believe that men is visual.
because some women, like I'm more attracted to women that's in God. Seriously. So I would rather not having everything. It's not the same appeal to me, but the way your mannerisms is what attracts me.
That's your preference.
Absolutely.
That's what your preference is.
Yeah. I actually believe that deep down inside, that's most men. When you're talking about just the visual, that's the animal side.
Yeah.
But when you're reaching into manhood, you're not on the animalistic side. You're looking for something
Yeah,
more.
That's what I talk.
Cause that's what. Cause when a man get an erection, he don't care. He's just trying to fulfill that.
That ain't true.
I said you don't believe that already.
Okay, and the second part to that question is why is it okay to look at a woman dressed provocative?
Why it is okay?
Because she wants you to look at it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the point.
that's why
She
she
dressed like that.
She dressed like
that.
She dressed like that for the attention. She knew
These are like
that.
simple. Like these are like.
They be like,
just the look. Like, man,
Same reason they look at a man.
there's not nothing more to it, like to look.
Why would you not want to look though? That's the thing.
Yeah, you should be more concerned if you don't.
No, hold on.
Nah, that ain't.
Shouldn't you be respectful if you know you got a girlfriend or a wife? Shouldn't you keep your eyes to yourself?
Some girlfriends are wild to tell you to look.
I said you got two eyes, you won't look.
Some girlfriends gonna tell you to
I
look.
like that. I'm just telling you from there.
They say the first look ain't no sin. Like it's only if you double back.
That's why that's said. That's why that's said.
But I'm
He
gonna put
knew
you
he
up
was
on
gonna
something. If you don't look or just try to make it look like you ain't looking, that'll make them want to try to get your attention.
That's
even
true
more.
too.
That's why I said it.
Because that's why they got it on to get your attention. If you don't give it to them, then that's when they're gonna chase you.
Are you back for that question?
Yeah, wow.
Why do men lack sensitivity?
And go back to that last question about being empathetic. It's not that we lack sensitivity. I'm just not sensitive the way you want me to be.
Yeah, I'm not sensitive on the stuff that y'all be sensitive on. It just be not y'all. Yeah, y'all. It's just y'all more sensitive about stuff that I don't think we need to be sensitive about.
Like what?
Sometimes you might have to move. You have to make a move that is independent of emotion, and it's still because it's the right move, although it might hurt. So it might seem like you're insensitive, but this right here is something that just got to be done.
Good answer.
Why do men cheat knowing they have a good woman at home?
Man.
Every question gotta be.
I believe
Is this a whole that all girls been
me. I believe there is no reason to cheat. You do it because you just do it. You don't need a reason to cheat. You do it because it's there. It's available.
Because it's available.
And remember, it said, and you gotta go. So basically, it's trying to say there's no reason for you to, but you do anyway.
But see, this is the hit, right? All right.
It's that
I get you.
I agree with him, but I also want to add to some men cheat because of lack of things in a relationship.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
But there's also a natural primal urge towards polygyny. It is a natural instinct to have more than one wife. That is a part of who we are. And making the legislations of marriage is taking that natural instinct and put it into something that's nice. Now, a way of perverting it is to say that you can't, or even having without wives. And this is how you see them pastors and all them rap, whatever it is, messing with them little kids, because they don't have kids. They don't have sex. When you pervert something from what it's supposed to be, you change it. We would naturally have more than one wife. That was a part of who we was. So when you have one wife and then you go towards another one, that doesn't mean that there's a deficiency with that good woman. Alhamdulillah, it's a good woman. But is it a part of your nature? It is the base part of our nature.
That's the thing. It's like some men that is in them is to have multiple women. Women just don't believe that. Some men that just need multiple women.
Period.
Yeah, they just need it.
I just think it's that simple, man.
Yeah.
It is. And it has nothing to do with that system.
See, that's the thing. The thing is like, all right, you want for your brother what you want for yourself. So you actually want this man to go out and commit fornication.
That's my point exactly.
Or you want him to get married and do it the right way.
But you
They don't care.
We live in a time, right? All right, let me show you this. Right?
Nah, I ain't with that
Miles,
embarrassment of everybody
right?
else.
Miles, you're not Muslim, right?
Right.
What does fornication mean to you?
It really don't.
Don't mean nothing.
Don't mean
All right, so now
Right.
you got people who take their shahada, right?
Yeah.
They become Muslim, and they've been, or Christian, or whatever it is, whatever you believe. You've been a disbeliever longer than you've been a believer.
Yeah.
So naturally, fornication don't mean a damn thing to you. I don't want you to cheat on me. That's it. You're being disloyal, and you've betrayed me because you looked at this other girl, you had sex with this other girl, you talked to this other girl. That's how people look at it, because that's our society. You know what I mean? So we asking for a lot to ask people to rethink the way, like me, I look at it like, man, fornication is a big deal. But you just ask, like let's say Miles took a shahada tomorrow, and then is fornication gonna be a big deal then tomorrow? Probably not.
But who's it a big deal to? The women?
No, I mean I'm talking about to people who
I can't say that. Like when you first take shahada, usually that zeal is a little stronger there.
No,
but you gotta know. You have to know.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll never forget this. I took shahada, and the brother that gave me shahada, I ran into him in Pathmark. This right after I took shahada, right after my son was born. And he said to me, yo, did you get married yet? And I said, no. At the time, I didn't know I needed to be married. And he said, damn, you want to hurry up and get married. And I said, why? He said, because your son, you don't want your son to be a bastard. And then he said, oh, you know what? He already is a bastard. And at the time, I didn't know nothing about Islam and fiqh. And I was like, damn, this ain't going Yeah, but later on, when I learned, I understood why that mattered, because he's like, yo, you don't want your son to be a bastard. He can't inherit from you. You don't want him to be a child of zina. At the time, I didn't know zina. I didn't know fornication. Yeah, I didn't know none of that. I didn't know nothing about no inheritance. And now I understand why it's important, because of the sin. But if we live in a time where we're making ourselves, we're mandating these laws on us by choice. It's not like the government is
Oh,
telling us,
yeah, right.
hey man, if you get caught fornicating, you're gonna get these 100 lashes. We ain't getting no lashes. You're not getting.
Oh, right, but and Christianity is the same way. It's not
It
like
is
you're
the
not,
same
you're
way.
not supposed to be married, but
I mean, you're supposed to be
No,
married.
supposed to be
yeah, you're supposed to be
But
married.
that's why I asked you. All right, if you're a Christian,
Right.
and that's just what does fornication mean to you? Most Christians, like when I was a Christian way longer than I was a Muslim.
Yeah.
None of that stuff mattered to me. And not that I didn't believe in the Ten Commandments, I believed
Right.
in it, but nobody ever enforced none of that stuff.
right.
So if you come from a background where that stuff ain't enforced, then when you become a Muslim now, I'm supposed to put this on myself? No, nigga, don't cheat. That's how they look at it. You know, before I didn't used to understand it because I thought, because of my understanding, those things are important to me. Like, all right, you know what? You know, I need to try my hardest to
Oh,
live
right,
by
yeah,
this.
but if I decided to get married, then it would mean something to me. But if I'm not married, then I wouldn't care.
But that's the whole point of
Of
getting
you getting married. Oh, I
See what I'm saying?
understand.
Now,
It-
I'm
that
not
makes
saying
sense.
for you.
No,
It makes sense, right? That's why I always ask,
Yeah.
when there's gay people in here, I always ask gay people, what the hell is the big deal about getting married? So for y'all. And they say, oh, you know, we want compassion and the bond. And I said, well, the whole point of being married is to have that respect for God.
Yeah.
If you don't actually follow a religion, whatever religion, what difference does it make? You can have companionship and love and all those things without having marriage. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We live in a different world.
Nah,
man.
it's-
It's weird.
Okay. What are some suggestions to women on making their spouse happy? Or your mate, your girlfriend, whatever.
Know when to just let things go.
I don't got no advice.
Sometimes
I got enough for him.
I feel like sometimes you need to understand that you're not going to understand each other. Like that's just kind of
Yeah, I think
the
that you
differences
got.
between us are solid, and they're in our blood. Like we're wired differently. So some things you're just not going to get, and that's okay.
I think it's easy to. I mean, it's not easy, but you could be understanding. It's almost like something can be right and something can be wrong. Like I might think something is right, and you might think that it's wrong, but I could still be able to understand why you're thinking it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just about being understanding that each other. If you know each other, then I think it should be alright. It's not gonna be perfect.
Also, the woman can't want to have a modernized mentality, but want the man to be old school.
I feel it. I feel it.
I believe that a really good suggestion to our sisters is to remain as grateful for everything as possible, because that will make that relationship that much stronger. Because there's going to be times of up and down, ebbs and flow all the time. But if there's a constant level of gratitude, it's going to reflect in your attitude. You're going to feel it. And that's going to make that man want to be there.
That's gonna make them happy?
That's going to make him happy. Shukr and hamd.
Just listen.
Shukr and hamd.
That'll make them happy.
Yes.
Listen and do what I told you.
And it ties into it.
Be obedient.
Like that. Come on.
Be obedient. Just
Yes.
listen.
Learn how to work it. Learn
Just
how to
listen,
work that
man.
submission.
We're gonna
It's
listen.
a way of working. It's a.
We're gonna listen, man.
You ain't gonna listen?
No, I said they ain't listening.
They gonna listen?
Women don't listen.
They ain't obedient.
But see, so then a part of being able to get them there
They
is
don't
like,
do
Listening to your conversation, or like listening.
They don't really be like listening. Like I can't even explain it, but like they do their own thing. Like you say something, they just still do their own thing. Like they're not listening. At least the ones that I know, they just don't fucking listen.
I feel your frustration, bro.
Or they listen, but they don't listen to
I
understand.
don't talk a lot. But if I say something like
It's real.
this is what I'm saying. Just listen.
Not get what I'm saying?
They can do it. Like
Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, I know.
That is frustrating.
You know how that like it can like.
I'll give you an
I
example.
was about to say,
if you know the bill's supposed to be paid on fucking Monday, on the 1st, and I say, yo, this need to be paid by the 1st, or whatever, and you don't pay it on the 1st, you decide, oh well, I'll just pay it on the 3rd. I know I got the money, I'll just pay it on the 3rd. I just told you, pay the shit on the 1st. That's what I mean, like, but let's see another. If I don't want to talk. Man.
I like to do it.
I got too many examples, man.
I thought it was one of like the house scenarios and
Yeah, that too.
when you ain't like fixing something.
Yeah, I want
you
chicken.
like,
I didn't
"Oh,
say
man,
cook
that's
fish."
not how it goes."
Chicken. You had fish last, I want chicken. Like, don't just make some shit because you cook the chicken.
And then be mad at you when you get tight though. What you always mad for? When you got attitude?
Next question is, how is it that a man can go out of his relationship and have a baby with another woman and expect his wife or woman to stay? But if his wife or woman does that, he's leaving.
That's exactly.
You gotta answer that. That's
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Nah, that's just how the game go.
She got pregnant too. Yeah, you still, you still,
In the trend.
Nah.
so you said the cheating. So
Nah,
That's different. No, that's different.
cheating.
No, it's not. You
you get pregnant, I'm out.
You better hold on, baby, until you. Nah, I'm good. That's that nigga, baby. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's what comes from sex, is baby. So you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I know a guy. I got a. I can't say his name, but a friend of mine. He was messing with a married woman, right? And then he's messing around. She got pregnant, and then the husband decided to stay and take care of this nigga's baby.
man.
Nah, it's out. It's out.
And when so he's trying to raise his kids like
Like his kids?
no the guy who did the cheating, the outside nigga,
He want.
no, he's still raising his kids. Like, they got joint custody, but a lot of people in the community don't know that those aren't the husband's kids. So now that when they got older, then he was like, he told me once, he said, yeah, I was out, I had my kids, and they were playing, and we ran into like a friend of the family, and he was like, yo, what y'all doing with that man? They're like, that's our dad. They're like, what you mean that's your dad? I mean,
Jeez, that's mixy. That's between them.
there's no way. There's no way I can do it.
Yeah, nah.
Not gonna be able to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
So then why would we expect them to forgive us when we?
No, you cannot expect it. You can't expect. But I'm not gonna
You
do
can
it.
ask.
They don't answer.
They ain't gotta stay. If they want to stay, that's on them.
It's a double standard.
No, it's not. If they want to stay, they can stay. They don't have to stay. They don't have to
You don't
stay.
expect them to stay.
But that I ain't doing.
You do.
Nah, that's just the wrong word.
I mean,
That's just the wrong word.
here's the thing. The reason why I say it's a double standard, and it's okay. If you read in the Quran, Allah says He created men and women different. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. We just different.
Yeah, we got different.
Yeah, it's different. If we can't.
Low.
I might leave it anyway.
Yeah, go.
I definitely wouldn't do that, but you know, I would expect. If I did it, I would have hoped there'd be some consideration because I'm a
You a man. Word. Yeah, I understand that too. But listen, Trick. Wow.
Why, before marriage, sex is unlimited, then after marriage, sex is limited?
Wait a minute.
Say what?
Why is it
married,
that
so I'm
before
not
marriage,
That's how they go married. That should have been it.
You
Because
said why before marriage?
the sex is unlimited, but then after you get married, it's limited?
because
That's a relationship.
because people tend to get complacent. She got you now.
Yep.
That's a like
She got you now, so it's like I ain't really got to do all that.
That does have. Yeah, I guess
years down the line.
you didn't move out of that honeymoon phase, but often those things that really attracted that man,
Phase.
they
The same things you did
they don't do it no
you
more.
gotta continue to do,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
vice
It's
versa.
a saying that I always say. A man want the woman he met, not the one he with.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I like that.
Wow, that's deep.
tough.
You
Yeah,
do.
word.
That's deep.
Yeah.
He don't want the one, you know, he
Word,
want the one
child.
that he met.
Right.
That was
But the
a
thing
Carter
is,
G.
right?
Woodson quote. You went deep on that, Joe. Now you went deep.
It's a front to get you.
Yo, but the deep thing is
Yeah, true.
that it's the same thing applies to them too. Because it's often that.
Let me post that right now. I'm gonna credit you.
Yeah, write that down. You gotta jot that down.
Sometimes we do the same thing.
Yeah, that's
Well, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
later
Like you
on,
sold
Once
me
we got it,
vehicle, it looked like a brand new Explorer or Lamborghini, but it was really a
Honda Civic.
He was specific.
they got too many miles on it. But what happens is that when you get married, a lot of times like people get married, kids come into play, and that kind of put slow down.
But the kids ain't
You
slowing down.
can't use that as no excuse. Nah, man, they got a bedtime.
You gotta make time, huh?
Yeah, they have bedtime. Grandma be watching them. They be at school. Nah, man, we ain't going with that.
Why do some men fight to be with some of their children, but not all of their
I
children?
don't know. I can't.
That don't even make sense.
I ain't got no kids. I don't know.
I don't think they stop fighting. Sometimes it be the stuff they go through to be with their kids, and it just drain you. It be too much.
They probably just don't want to deal with the other baby mother.
Yeah, that's what it most of the time is, the mother, not the kids.
She done made it so hard just to get to them, reach them, talk to them. They just like, it's much easier just to deal with these ones. So whenever she decides she want to come around, then I spin back.
Right, because when you don't want to pay them no attention, then it's easy. The ones that don't want their kids is easy. The ones that want their kids, that's what it get hard for.
They be all on social like, yeah, I want to take care of his kids.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes men be in the way too.
That's
Like
true.
we'll have multiple baby moms. We don't care if one get in a relationship, but if this one particular one get in a relationship, then it's like, man, forget you and them kids.
I've seen some cases though where women, what they tend to do is like when they with a guy, they lighten up on the baby father, and then once they break up with that guy, they start attacking the baby father again. I've seen cases like that. So what the best thing to do is just find another boyfriend. I hope you find one.
Like I said, everything is off of emotion. That's just what it is.
Especially if you're still getting cheeks.
Yeah.
Why is it okay to look at females who dress, half dressed, but you don't want your woman to dress like that?
It's like,
because
We made different.
Nah, I wouldn't mind just like that.
Oh, you want to dress just like that?
I don't mind.
Oh yeah, I ain't
it's like it's having
You don't
a kid.
mind dressing provocatively?
It's like two. It's like two
You don't
people
mind,
came to
you
the
know?
floor.
As long as she ain't like doing nothing.
Was she with you? Was she with you?
Well, I just view it like that's me. Like I want you to look good. I want them to look at you. I want them. Like, as long as you ain't.
That assumes that you're okay with females dressing like that in the first place. Like, cause like looking good to you might be different to me. That's where the difference in
I'm gonna
opinions
kill
come.
everybody else got on.
Yeah.
The next question is, why do men want a woman who is humble when they are not humble?
I don't know.
These are traps.
These are questions that somebody's like, they're like, going through
They
some
digging.
To answer the question, I do like a woman that is appreciative of her situation. So if you're providing a certain, like, if you're working hard, she can make more money than you or whatever, but if you're providing a lifestyle for this woman, or you're providing, saying you're going to work, you're busting your ass, you're taking care of the children if you have a family, if not, is it freedom of speech?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a barbershop.
I know, I didn't know.
It's one of the only places in America black men can be a black man.
right. It's just like a humble woman. Yeah, absolutely. You want a part of her to be humble, but of course you want a part of her that's going to be your freak. You know what I mean? You want a part of her that's going to be the educated, the leader, for the children, the matriarch of the family, the mother.
Yeah.
Humble is a appreciated aspect, but I don't feel as though when
She shouldn't be all the way humble.
she should be just well-rounded. Well-rounded, because you're gonna want to edge.
The next question is, who taught you to be a man? Your mother, your father, or your religion?
Or the streets.
This is the 3 options that they put.
Or the streets.
Yeah, we gonna
Whatever
add
you
that
feel,
within
however
there.
you want to add.
I don't know if it's necessarily taught. Maybe it's learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through male role
Yeah, a
models.
bunch of different.
I think you pull something from everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
My mother,
I'm saying the community, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. As far as like the streets, just your environment, like everything that's around.
Streets are going to sharpen anything your parents have taught you. Streets are going to sharpen all that. At the end of the day, you being on your own, not to say at the end of the day, when you first stepped out into the streets, when you really was outside at 8, 9, I'd say for me it was like 8 years old, remembering being outside, remembering getting into fights, remembering running away from fights, and then something kicks in and you're like, all right, I got to fight, I'm tired of running, or recognizing when you see a group of guys, I know they're not really about, I might get jumped or you might try to rob me, that's street smarts. Then there's another one like, I see a group of guys, all right, or when you're on the basketball court and you know who you're playing with. And then the guys that come to the court like, they're usually a problem. If they get beat, they don't want to scrap. I'm just talking about from my personal experiences. You know what I mean? Learning on the fly. I was born in Providence, Rhode Island. So one time I went back home, and my cousin's like, they're not really, if you win, they probably might come back and shoot this court up. Like, I don't worry about that, being cocky and arrogant. We won. They came back, and you could tell by the way they was walking in that court, we just dipped. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, I heard they had that thing on. But it's like, these are things that gut feeling, that's taught by the streets. When you go into, like I know myself, I go into a club or a bar, I want my back towards the wall so I can watch and analyze the room. A fool's just gonna go in there, drink it up, not really analyze the room, who's in here, who am I around, knowing your environment. These things can be told to you by your parents, but you have to experience it on your own and see if that, I want to call it that sixth sense kicks in. I think the reason all of us are here to this day is because we've avoided some situation where you go like, nah, I'm not messing with that. You know what I'm saying? Or you saw somebody in there, this dude that's got a reputation, or this female's got a reputation, where I recuse myself or, remove yourself from the situation. So I pull things from my father, my grandfather, talking in the barbershop with CJ and Keith, just a little like, I've never heard that before. Somebody's aspect, but as far as what I've learned, I definitely give majority of the credit to my loved ones. But the streets, at the end of the day, was the biggest class, the best classroom I ever sat in. Because you meet people in the streets just random and they say something, they give you a gem. I can take that one.
Absolutely.
So that's just my
for me, I was raised by a single parent, my mother, and the concepts or the ideologies of what she was as a young African American in America, the concept of manhood that she had at her young age were the concepts of manhoods that I strove to be a part of. And it was a part of what really led to my recklessness. So it goes back to your question. You said, did you learn it from your where's the source? Did you learn it from the streets, your parents, or did you learn it from your dean? To be a man. I had an idea of what I thought was a man, but as I became a Muslim, I began to realize that wasn't a man. That a lot of the ideas and concepts that I had, that I was taught by my mother, that I was taught by the streets, they're not man. It's not what a man is. A man is responsible. So a responsible man, like you talk about going out and having your back, in a dangerous situation, a responsible man would likely not be in them situations from an Islamic standpoint. So as a man, I'm going to places. And it's just coming from it. So I would have to say Islam is what really molded me to be a man. And there was figures in it like that attracted me, like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. And all the time, the attraction wasn't necessarily the deen, but they was manly men that was articulate. And so that's what brought me my concept of what a man is.
My dad and my mom growing up in the house with both of them, but also the streets. my coaches, my teammates, and my friends. You know what I mean? Because everybody, like he said, you learn something from home, but all these other places is gonna sharpen your skills. That's when you leave the house. That's where you hone your craft.
Right.
You was fortunate to be raised in a household like that. Really, particularly in the African American community, because that's one of the reasons why they fight to keep us separated, to break down that household, so that you don't get that strong foundation. You was able to get that because you saw a man in the house, you saw a woman in the house, and it made you have a different perspective than a woman.